Let me start with something honest. A lot of older men believe that the reason younger women lose interest is because of age, but the truth is, it's rarely about age. It's about energy. You see, age can actually be attractive. Experience can be attractive. Wisdom can be attractive. Stability can be incredibly attractive. But certain habits quietly destroy that attraction, sometimes without a man even realizing it. And the saddest part? Many men spend years building careers, building wealth, building knowledge, yet they unknowingly build behaviors that push people away. So today we're going to talk about 4 habits that make older men unattractive to younger women, and more importantly, how to recognize them and stop them immediately. Habit number 1, living in the past. One of the quickest ways to become unattractive is constantly talking about who you used to be. I used to be in great shape. I used to run a big business. Back in my day, things were better. Listen carefully. Confidence doesn't come from your past victories, it comes from your present direction. Younger women are naturally drawn to men who still have momentum, men who are curious, men who are learning, men who are evolving. When a man lives in the past, he stops being interesting. But when a man keeps growing, keeps learning, keeps building, age stops being a number, and it becomes presence. A man who is still moving forward is always attractive. Habit number 2, complaining about the world. Nothing drains attraction faster than constant complaining. Complaining about young people, complaining about modern culture, complaining about how everything is worse than it used to be. Here's the truth. Negativity ages a man faster than time ever will. When someone complains all the time, they don't look wise, they look bitter. But a man who stays optimistic, who adapts, who stays curious about the world, that man becomes magnetic. Because optimism is not about pretending life is perfect, it's about believing your best chapters can still be written, and that energy is powerful. Habit number 3, trying too hard to impress. Now, this one surprises many men. Some older men think attraction comes from showing off success, talking about money, talking about cars, talking about status. But attraction rarely comes from what you show off. It comes from how comfortable you are with who you are. Confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. A man who constantly tries to prove his worth actually sends the opposite message. But a man who is calm, grounded, relaxed, he doesn't chase approval. And that calm confidence often speaks louder than any achievement. Habit number 4, losing passion for life. This might be the most important habit of all. Some men slowly lose their spark. They stop exploring. They stop challenging themselves. They stop trying new things. Life becomes routine, predictable, safe. But here's something fascinating about attraction. People are drawn to life energy, to enthusiasm, to curiosity, to passion. A man who is excited about learning, traveling, building, creating, that energy is contagious, and it has nothing to do with age. In fact, some of the most attractive men in the world are not the youngest. They're simply the ones who never stop living fully. A final thought. You see, attraction is rarely about perfect looks or perfect age. It's about mindset. A man who keeps growing, who stays optimistic, who lives with quiet confidence, and who keeps his passion for life alive. That man becomes timeless. Because the most attractive quality any person can have is a life that still has direction. So if you want to remain interesting, magnetic, and respected, don't focus on looking younger. Focus on living stronger. Because a man who keeps improving himself will always stand out, no matter what year he was born. One of the most powerful steps a man can take in his life is developing self-awareness. Many older men assume that attraction fades simply because of age, but the truth is often much deeper. Human connection is strongly influenced by behavior, mindset, and emotional maturity. When a man becomes aware of the habits that quietly weaken his presence, he gains the ability to transform not only how others see him, but also how he sees himself. Growth begins the moment a person honestly evaluates his actions and attitudes. Sometimes men develop routines or ways of thinking that once served them well, but over time, those same habits begin to create distance between them and others. This might show up as negativity, living too much in past achievements, or losing curiosity about the world around them. Without realizing it, these patterns can make a person seem emotionally closed, disconnected, or lacking enthusiasm for life. But the encouraging truth is that habits are not permanent. They can be reshaped with intention and discipline. When a man chooses to improve his mindset, focus on learning, and maintain a sense of purpose, he naturally becomes more engaging and attractive as a person. Confidence grows not from trying to impress others, but from the quiet knowledge that one is constantly evolving. Personal development also brings emotional intelligence. It allows a man to understand how his behavior affects those around him and to build stronger, more meaningful connections. Instead of focusing on external validation, he begins focusing on becoming the best version of himself. When a man commits to self improvement, people notice the difference. His presence becomes stronger, his conversations become more meaningful, and his energy becomes more positive. In this way, personal growth does not just improve attraction, it improves the entire quality of a man's life and relationships. Attraction is often misunderstood as something based only on appearance or age, but in reality, it is deeply connected to energy, attitude, and the way a person approaches life. One of the most noticeable qualities that draws people towards someone is a sense of purpose and enthusiasm. When a man continues to live with curiosity, ambition, and a desire to grow, he naturally carries an energy that others find inspiring. Younger women, like most people, are often attracted to individuals who display confidence, emotional balance, and optimism. These qualities signal stability and strength, but they also show that a person is actively engaged with life rather than simply drifting through it. A man who approaches challenges with a positive mindset, who remains open to new ideas, and who continues learning creates an atmosphere of excitement and possibility around him. Positive masculinity is not about dominance or control. Instead, it reflects self respect, responsibility, and the ability to lead one's own life with clarity and discipline. When a man demonstrates these traits, he naturally becomes more respected and admired. His presence feels grounded and reassuring, which makes others feel comfortable and valued in his company. Passion for life also plays a significant role. A man who still pursues goals, develops new skills, and seeks meaningful experiences sends a powerful message that his life is full of direction. This sense of movement and purpose often becomes far more appealing than superficial qualities. Ultimately, attraction grows strongest when someone embodies authentic confidence and a genuine enthusiasm for life. When a man chooses to stay mentally active, emotionally aware, and focused on building a meaningful future, he not only becomes more attractive to others, but also creates a richer and more fulfilling life for himself. In the end, true attraction is not defined by age, status, or past achievements. It grows from the way a person continues to live, grow, and carry himself each day. When a man develops self awareness and chooses to improve his habits, he begins to shape a stronger character and a more meaningful presence. This kind of growth naturally builds confidence, emotional intelligence, and a deeper connection with the people around him. At the same time, maintaining a positive mindset and a genuine passion for life keeps a person vibrant and engaging. A man who remains curious, optimistic, and purposeful shows that his life still has direction and momentum. That energy often becomes far more attractive than any external quality because it reflects authenticity and inner strength. Ultimately, the key message is simple. Personal growth and positive energy never go out of style. When a man continues to evolve, take responsibility for his habits, and approach life with enthusiasm, he not only becomes more inspiring to others, but also creates a life that is richer, stronger, and more fulfilling.